Okay, just today, Nintendo announced a new Switch version called the Switch Lite. And some people are not happy about this. And part of the reasons is because this is like a handheld only device. It's not a
like
home
a TV.
console. It doesn't offer the switchability. It's the reason why the Switch is called the Switch, from console to handheld. And there's some reasons why people are not liking this concept. And so let's talk about some pros and cons about the Switch Lite right now. What are some of the pros?
Well, for one, it's smaller for, like, if you have small hands, and that makes it, like, really easier for them to hold, and, second of all, it's more portable, easier to carry around, and, like, if you're...
They fit in places like purses?
Yeah,
and
like
maybe
purses.
Pockets easier?
Yeah, pockets.
And what else it had? It doesn't have detachable Joy-Cons.
Yeah, that's a real downside, because I know a lot of people are unhappy about that, but
you can still use actual Joy-Cons if you buy them separately.
And it also has a D-pad.
Oh, that's a great thing. That's what everybody's been wanting, a D-pad.
And
what about the battery life?
Yeah, the battery life, it's kind of more than the normal Switch, but not that much at all.
I read somewhere if you play The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, it actually has like an hour longer charge for that game.
Yeah.
What else? What is something cool about it? Just by looking at it, what do you notice?
Well, the colors.
The colors.
There's black, there's turquoise, there's yellow.
And there's a special Pokemon edition.
Yeah, it's white, I believe.
It's white, and it has pink and blue buttons. And
for Sword and Shield,
it's got,
new Pokemon.
Yeah, it's got a design on the back for the Sword and Shield legendaries. Some bad things that people are not liking about it is, which I've said, is it's not dockable.
Which means you can't play it on the TV.
Yeah, so it's not like a Switch that is docked and also portable, which is why Switch got its name. But there's ways around that.
Yeah.
It has no HD rumble, which a lot of people really like the HD rumble. Me personally, I'd rather have maybe classic rumble for some games, just for, like, I feel it more. HD rumble is good for, like, doing, like, certain position, like games where you're trying to feel like a more delicate feeling of a rumble, where but it just doesn't have that hardcore feel to me. But I mean, so it doesn't really matter if it has it or not. Another thing is, it doesn't have the IR feature of the right Joy-Con, which
means no Labo.
Yeah, you couldn't use it like by itself with Labo. But if you bought an extra pair of Joy-Cons, maybe there would be a way to use it with Labo products. And as he said, the controllers don't detach. Some people really didn't want controllers to detach. If you did want the controllers to detach to play two players, that may be something that you're not liking. But you can still ways around that. All you have to do is buy Joy-Cons. Thing is now, though, will this work with Labo or not? If you buy a separate set of Joy-Cons, hopefully there will be like adapters that allow you to use Labo with the Labos that require you to use the system in it. What about Labo VR? To me, since this system is lighter, that it would be a great way to use Labo VR. I don't know if it would work with the current models now, or if you'd have to wait for them to come out with a new version for the Lite, which I think would be cool. I think that would be a great console for the VR, a lighter version, especially for some kids that use it may be too heavy, a regular version for them or whatever, or just in general for everybody, it would probably be better just to have a lighter system. Game Freaks had a problem actually bringing Pokemon to the Switch because
they like the 3DS.
Yeah, it was smaller, you know, for smaller hands, and they didn't want to lose that fan base of the children. Everybody, you know, of different ages play Pokemon, but they definitely didn't want to lose the newcomers, the kids. I mean, that love Pokemon. You know, the new kids that coming out and see, you know, Pikachu, and everybody loves Pikachu. Don't matter how old they are. I mean, Pikachu's just, you know, their thing. So Game Freaks said that, you know, the Switch really wasn't designed for the hands of the children, and they wanted to continue their line on the 3DS. And with this new system, I think this is mainly aimed towards kids who like Pokemon. If you notice, when the 2DS come out, the new 2DS system, it came out about the same time as a Pokemon game. You don't remember which one that was? The original Sun and Moon. Yeah. So they came out around that time, and I think that's one reason why Nintendo is releasing this now. Sword and Shield is around the corner, and this system's going to be out right at the time for Sword and Shield when it's released.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's talk about this. Why would anybody even want to buy this system?
Exactly.
We're losing features. Why would we want to buy the system?
Good
Well,
topic.
one thing is we talked about Pokemon. You know, how they wanted to, Game Freaks wanted a system that's more smaller for hands, or, you know, kid hands. So that's definitely one reason, like, for smaller kids, you'd buy it for them. But some people still want to argue about, you know, you're losing out connectivity to the home TV. But if you already own a system at home, and you're looking to buy separate systems for individuals, the kids in the home, or yourself and your wife, if you're wanting to get into having multiple systems, this will be a reason why you would buy a second one. And people may say, well, wouldn't you just want to buy another one that you can hook up to another TV? And yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
But let's say that you don't want to type a TV or reasons like that, and you have children. Another thing is, what you would do is you would buy a Nintendo online network for every individual, and you can get like a family pack for like $40 for 8 people. So what you would do, it'd actually take your account that you have on your home system and log into that same account onto your portable, set your portable up as your home account, and then from there you could take your kids could take their save progress from their portable system, back it up, then get on the system hooked up to the TV, download their save data, and therefore they actually have still switched. They switched their data back and forth. So they can take their data back and forth on the go with a Lite system. One of the kids could be playing on the TV, and the other one switches off onto the Lite system and plays like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Nintendo actually wants that kind of stuff. They actually wants everybody in the household on the Switch. And this is one of the things, I think, the reason why they came out with the Switch Lite is so everybody would. And because Nintendo is very wanting to be interactive within their family. I don't know if you know about the Japanese culture, but they're very much into their handhelds. Very much. So, this is not like really something for the individual person, but somebody already has a console. But if you yourself or just you personally want a Switch at home, but you want to take your Switch on the go and you don't feel like it's portable enough, you want to throw it in your backpack, throw it in your purse, or put it in your pocket, you'll be able to do that now. So if you have a system at home, you could do exactly what I said. You could actually swap your data to the home console and swap it back when you're done and ready to go. That way you keep your progress with you wherever you go, and you want to leave your system at home and you've got other people there and they can still play it. Another reason why someone might get this is just buying it for the price, for the simple fact is they're not sure if they're wanting to get into Nintendo or if they want to get into games, period.
And by the way, what is the price for this?
It's $200 in US. $200 in US. Another thing I kind of speculate about, you know, Nintendo and Xbox is doing, you know, Microsoft, and Nintendo and Microsoft is doing some stuff, compatibility, getting along with each other. If Xbox ever does their streaming service through the Switch, and you already have an Xbox, you could say, well, why buy this home Switch when I just buy the portable Switch? I mean, I'm not saying that's happening, but you know, everybody's speculating what Nintendo and Microsoft are doing together. Why else would anybody want to buy this? Because the colors. That's the only thing I can think of. The limited editions, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I actually see a future with this in another way. They're talking about redoing Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles.
Yeah.
And if you remember, you actually had to have a GameCube, and you had to have a Game Boy Advance, and you could connect up to 4 Game Boy Advances to play multiplayer, and each screen had a different feature on this. I'm seeing that yes, you could buy the game for a Switch that you would have at home, and on 4 Switch Lites you would download a free app that allows you to use your Switch Lite as a controller for Crystal Chronicles on another Switch.
Yeah.
And that sounds expensive and complicated, but it was back in the day for the Game Boy and GameCube. I mean, it was still stuff you had to spend. Another thing I'd like to see is if they do that, if a remake with Legend of Zelda 4 Swords. That'd be a great way to do that. It was similar, a little bit simpler game, but it was similar. I could see them doing Pokemon battles that way. If you were to use one Switch as on television, and while you use another Switch for your command line and on your Pokemon. Another thing I like to think about is if you're able to actually do this, hook this up to your TV, hook a regular Switch up to your TV, that is, and you're going to use a Switch Lite to transport your data back and forth. Yeah. They're talking about people are talking about hopefully that Nintendo makes a Switch Pro. And I think they will do something like that, but I'm assuming that they may actually make a Switch it's totally docked. And the reason why they would do this thing would have a hard drive to hold more data, hold more games. You know, if you're using a portable system, it's not going to hold as much data without buying a really expensive SD card. And hard drive's a little bit cheaper to come to when it comes to holding more data. So I see them actually doing a system that would actually just be home only. But would it have a higher performance graphics than a normal Switch? Hopefully so. And the reason why I say that is because this could be a Switch replacer, having a portable system and a home system, and you're still switching. It's not that you're switching the console, but you're switching your data. Yeah,
exactly.
And it's gonna cost you $20 a year to do this, to keep able to switch, and hopefully the prices of that don't go up. Another thing I'd like to point out is I think that Nintendo should offer at least 3 months free of online with Switch Lite, because of this, what I'm talking about, this feature of switching your data back and forth.
That would make sense.
But another thing that I won't say it's a con, it's a possibility that it could be a con. And it's the reason why I don't have my blue Joy-Cons on my Switch. And that's because one of my friends had mentioned this in a post on Facebook, and I was thinking the same thing. But my left stick has went out on my blue one. And I've heard a lot of people talk about their left stick going out. If they have not improved that feature, that piece of the product, then the Switch Lite is crap. What would I want to have this system if it don't work and I have to go send it off and get it fixed? If they have not improved that, that's going to be the biggest downfall of the sales.
Exactly.
So what do you think Shadow's got to say about it? He doesn't look too happy about it.
I am so confused. Even the ultimate life form.
Even the ultimate life form is confused.
Hello and
Hello and goodbye.